love song. Who's beside me now? I got my hand along. Who helped me to write this love song? My only is you. Only my only will do. You're my only is true. Yeah. And who was steals in my heart? Sweet inspiration. Hey, good morning. Hope you're doing well. You're on Bob's Blues and the news, coming to you directly from Atlanta, Georgia, just off the cuff. Just giving you my 4 cents, what I think what's going on in the world and all around. Yeah, it's a little soon. I just finished, more or less, my only. Probably release it pretty soon. You can check me out on Bob Jeter on Spotify and all those streaming sites. Also under Jeter and the Jets, I release songs. But that's my music stuff. And this is my podcast stuff. See, I try to mix the two. I'll bring in a little of my music, and then I talk politics because, like I tell everybody, I studied history. And once you study history, it's a blessing and a curse. Similar to, in the Torah about, those who bless you will be blessed, and those who curse you will be cursed, talking about the people in Israel, the Jews. But it's all a blessing. Whatever you do, make it positive, make it a blessing. And we're all struggling, it seems like. Most of us are struggling today because of what's going on in the world. You can't help not to be affected by this global war. And really, some people say we are in World War III. Some people say this is the war of Gog and Magog, and that the redemption is near. That's pretty exciting if you think about it. For those of you who are religious. I mean, most religious people today see what's going on in the world, whether you're Christian, Jewish, and even Muslims, because that's the problem with the Muslims right now, especially the Shia in Iran, because they believe they have to bring the 12th Imam, which is their Messiah. In order to do that, they have to conquer everybody else. They have to conquer the world and convert everybody to Islam. So they're looking for the end of days scenario. The Jews, if you read Ezekiel and Zechariah, those prophets, it's in there, and it looks like if you read those descriptions of the prophets of what would happen in the future, of course, they didn't know. For example, Ezekiel, you can look at chapter 38 and 39 especially. I mean, I think from chapter 33, I understand it's all about the end of days. And then if you get into chapter 38, you'll see that Persia is mentioned as the country that Israel would fight against at the end of days. And the battle would start by the Israelis being massacred. And then when they were, living in peace and harmony, they thought they were anyway, with no barriers, no gates or anything, and they just got massacred. I mean, that's like October 7th, right out of the prophets. So the Jews believe that, maybe this is the war of Gog and Magog, because nobody knows for sure. We're not prophets ourselves, but we can read the tea leaves, so to speak. And the Christians, they have their revelations about the three horsemen or something. I think they bring China into it because China has a lot of armies and horses, whatever nobody really uses horses today, but maybe tanks, or maybe drones are the modern day horses. Anyway, so everybody with any kind of religious bent, especially in the three major religions, tend to see this maybe as the end of day scenario, which is sort of frightening and exciting at the same time to be actually living at this period of time. But of course, there's a lot of upheaval during this time. And so all of us sort of average people, everyday people are sort of struggling to make ends meet, to do what we normally do throughout the day, our daily chores, our daily jobs. A lot of us are struggling because of the pressure that comes from all this chaos all around us. But we all have to keep faith. We all have to keep our nose to the grindstone. We all have a purpose. And so even though you might seem like you're failing now and that you're not making any headway, I'm talking about myself and some of my family as well. You have to, continue and to keep faith. Don't lose your faith. The redemption is ahead, and it could be any day. And it could be, when I say redemption, it could be just the ending of the war of Iran. I mean, already if we end the war in Iran, which could be in a couple of weeks, I think America is making great progress, even though they're having a lot of pushback with the oil situation and with the missiles still being fired by Iran. But they've taken out the leadership. They've taken out so much of the military. So it could last a couple more weeks. But just think what would happen once there is peace in Iran and the right people take over Iran, the people who believe in freedom and justice and liberty and want to be friendly with the West. That will totally change the dynamics of the Middle East. And, those people who don't want to get on board with Trump, Trump's reaching out to try to get other countries involved with, especially with the Strait of Hormuz, to try to help free up those lanes and clear the mines and stuff that Iran has laid, probably, in that strait. They better get on board because, Trump is the winner here, no doubt about it. And I really believe, even you might not like his personality. It's true. I have some rabbi friends who really don't like him so much because of his attitude. But he doesn't have the personality of a Jewish sage. He has the personality of Esau in the Bible. He was very rugged, warlike. Even though Trump always preaches peace, but yeah, he's strong in his personality, and people and he brags a lot. It's true, which is, some people say, well, he's not a humble guy. How can he be? But God works in mysterious ways, and look at how many assassination attempts he survived, and look how much pushback they've given him. When he was running for office, I always try to put him in jail, and he beat them all every time. It wouldn't stand up in court, and he's fighting now. He's fighting for the right to vote. But making voting fair by, requiring people to be citizens and showing IDs to vote is common sense. And, shutting the border. All this is common sense stuff that anybody in their right mind would say, yeah, it's a good thing. We want elections to be fair. We want the right kind of people coming into the country. And so many subjects you could look at in that way. And Trump is very rational, very logical in his approach, and he really has a good heart. He doesn't want war, but if you back him into the corner, he's going to snap. And the Iranians, of course, gave him no choice. Talking about the Iranian regime, the RGC and the mullahs, you can't negotiate with these people. So he had no choice. But if you don't see him in the light of a biblical figure almost, a change agent, someone who was going to change the world, then you're missing the whole point. Now, there's always a chance that during the next election, even in the midterms, that more Democrats will get elected. There is a tendency, I see the governor in Virginia, for example, my home state, and that we could swing back totally toward the left, which would be a disaster for the country. You can look at Europe and see where Europe is right now. It's totally socialist. They'll never get out of this socialist tendency. My wife is French. We was hoping maybe there were some people running who were conservative in the French election, especially in Paris. And of course, you can't beat the socialists because I don't think the French really have that work ethic. They really don't want to work very hard. They want to be taken care of. They really do. Where in the south of France, it might be different. I mean, they have different regions, of course, but look at England as well. They've totally sold their soul to the Islamists. So I don't see any much hope coming out of Europe. So it's only hope in Israel. It's only hope here in the United States. But, the United States could swing back to the left very quickly. And then the whole scenario would change. And, I'm Jewish. I say, well, if it goes back totally to socialism here and we get people like Kamala Harris and more Mamdanis to take over, all the Jews are going to leave the United States and they're going to Israel. Maybe that's the plan, to get all the Jews back in Israel. But I still have a lot of faith in America. I still believe in America. Though I'm Jewish, I really am American first because I live in America. Although spiritually, that's a different subject. So we all need to come together and support what Trump is doing. And if you fight him, you're fighting against the tide. And you're fighting on the side of darkness. It really becomes a war between the light and the dark, between good and evil. And if you don't see it, maybe you're listening to the wrong podcast, or the wrong TV station, or whatever. But anyway, that's my 3 cents for the day. Oh, did I say my 4 cents? Whatever. What's a penny? Anyway, this is Bob on Bob's Blues in the News. Love you all. And I'll just go on out with my little tune, my only, because it's really a love song, isn't it? But actually, this could be a spiritual song, too. There was a Song of Songs by King Solomon. I'm comparing myself to King Solomon, heaven forbid. But, who's your only? It could be God. It could be your wife. I love you all.
Who cut my head before it hit the ground? Who kept me walking tall?